Okay, week 10. It is done. The end is drawing near. The end of the regular season, that is. Don't get confused. So, a lot can still happen as far as playoff seeding. Really even playoff berth. There is still possible new candidates for the Chop, believe it or not. We'll get to all that in a second. First, let's kind of give the rundown on what happened this week. Myself, I played Cliff. Cliff, yes, he did field a legal team of 9 players, but managed to lose by a score of 100. Average outing, nothing special, flashy, nothing like that. 100 to 47. In case you all were not aware, the previous record for just absolutely being dreadful and sucking was 50. Set by Estes. Estes. The words of Nelly, 2 is not a winner, 3 no one remembers. But Cliff is number 1 in sucking. Of course, yeah, I mean, Estes, you're not a winner, and we're probably not ever going to remember that you were there second. So, to paraphrase Nelly, let me put it that way. So, RG3 got me 33. Le'Veon Bell, 14 for Cliff. Sorry if I'm kind of moving around. It's like 20 degrees in this house, and if I don't keep moving, I'm probably going to freeze to death. So, Ashton, 97, Estes, 74. Estes started strong showing in the early hours of the game. Then it kind of fell off. 97-74. Drew Brees had a lovely game. 39 for Ashton. Brandon Marshall got 25 for Estes. So, I mean, player-wise, that was a very nice outing. Chop, 73. Seth, 113. Seth, again, reaps the benefits of kind of a lackluster performance by his opponent, which I officially withdraw that statement. Cliff scored 47 against me, so I have no room to talk. Matthew Stafford, 24 for Chop, was kind of the high man. I would say he's the co-high man. By that, I mean Chop's bench player of the week, Dwayne Bowe, who was on buys. So he had the week off. Apparently, he just likes to go find a bunch of weed and cruise, because he was arrested for possession of marijuana. So I have, this is from the league. I have told Chop if he does rename his team the Dwayne Bowls, you know, B-O-W-L-S, as if one of the multiple bowls that apparently he smoked this weekend, I might throw some, you know, points his direction, just because that would be hilarious. We'll see if it happens or not. Demaryius Thomas, I don't know if I said it already, got set 28. Good week for him. Matt, Joe, game of the week. Closest game, anyway. We'll just put it that way. Matt, 111, Joe, 116. Despite Matt's attempts to give Joe Tony Romo, Joe, for the possibly saved his season. We'll just put it this way. Possibly saved his season by not accepting this trade. I'll get to exactly why in just a second. Why I go that far. Because, yeah, like I said, just a second. Peyton Manning, 35 to Nick Foles, 28. Fantasy pick, waiver pick of the week goes to Joe for getting Nick Foles. Nicely done, Joe. So, standings. Now this is where all those stuffs that I will explain later, quotes, are going to come into play. So, Seth, 7-3. He sets the top. Seth is basically immune. I wouldn't say immune, but Seth is pretty much all but guaranteed to get in the top 4 of the playoffs. Seth would have to lose both of his games and lose them in such a way that basically his tiebreaker just sucks. So, I mean, basically he's going to have to lose both games by a combined score of, like, Seth getting a total of 11 for 2 weeks and his opponent's getting, we'll say, 13. Basically, it's not going to happen. So, Seth, you're pretty much in. Now, in order of tiebreaker rank, Matt, Ashton, me. Cliff, you screwed me over. I was ahead of Ashton, now I'm below that on the tiebreaker because you only scored 47. Screw you. So, a lot can go on with those three. Why? Because Joe and Chop are one game behind at 5-5. So us five, Matt, Ashton, me, Joe, Chop, five of us, can only fit in 3 spots. So, yes, the 5 of us only have 3 spots to fit in. And that's what she said. But that's neither here nor there. So, what does this mean, you might be asking yourself? Basically, Joe and Chop, victories are going to be your best friend. Well, as they are kind of everyone's in fantasy football, but especially now. Why, especially for you two, why, you might be asking. Cliff is at 3-7. Cliff has been stroked hard, so the odds are tiebreaker Cliff will probably he'll beat Chop. Joe's kind of had some rough luck some weeks, so he might not be able to pass Joe. But Cliff has, based on the upcoming schedule, I would say has a very possible chance to win 2 in a row. Joe, Chop, you guys have a chance to, one of you, because, I mean, there's a good chance one of you are going to lose 2 in a row. I only say that because just, Chop, you play Matt, Joe, you play Seth. That's 1 and 2, just based on rankings. I mean, it's a week, you know, everything is possible. But week 12, you two play each other. So if one of you loses 2 in a row, Cliff wins 2 in a row, he could come out of the bottom, and one of you two could be in the Chop. Would make for a very interesting storyline at the end of the season. So, Ashton, give Trent some love. Tell him to set your lineup nice and well, because it's that time to where, you know, I play you in week 12. That could have a playoff spot on the line. So, be ready. Anyway, yeah. Myself, I play Estes. Yeah, this week. Cliff plays Ashton. Matt, you play Chop. Joe, you play Seth. So, like I said, a lot can happen. It's kind of, oh, to quote Will Ferrell, mind-boggling. Like your mind's in a bottle. You know, it's good times, basically. Seth made the comment, we were enjoying some Sunday evening football, to where, you know, he's like, I'm kind of glad it's over so I can go back to watching football normally again. And I don't know if maybe I'm the only one that does this, but I was like, Seth, never again can you go back to watching football normally. Because I watch a game, especially an NFL game, and I see something happen, a big play or something, and I'm like, maybe I should draft him next year. It never stops. It's everywhere. So, for those of you, Ashton or Trent, depending on who is officially the team manager, I know Ashton has never played before. I don't even know if she pays attention to it. For all I know, she doesn't even remember her login. Trent's got it wrote down on a piece of paper, and he just turned loose. You know, like the hounds are released. He just does it all, and Ashton might have never watched football, you know, not even a game this year. Just occasionally gets on the message board to write something, which you can tell it's her, because it's properly, you know, punctuated and worded in proper English, you know, that kind of thing. But, anyway, it's gonna happen, like there's no end to it. But, so yeah, enough of my little soliloquy. Week 11, it's here. Peace out, Girl Scouts.